Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle 20 really essential English words that'll help you sound more natural. We're breaking them down into 4 small, easy-to-handle groups. My goal here is to make sure every single one of these words sticks with you. So, you ready? Let's get started. Okay, let's dive right into our first group. These first 5 words are all about endings and feelings. So, we're going to be talking about how things finish and also about how we feel, both emotionally and physically. Let's do this. First up, we have conclude. So conclude is a verb, and it simply means to end or finish something. You could say, the meeting will conclude at 5 p.m. The noun form is conclusion, which is the final part or the result. For instance, the conclusion of the movie was a complete surprise. Okay, next is nutrition. This is a noun, and it's all about the food we eat and how it helps us grow and stay healthy. It belongs to a whole group of words related to health and science, like fat or obesity. A really common way you'll hear it is something like, good nutrition is essential for a child's development. Now here's an interesting one, tender. You might think it means soft or gentle, right? But in a business context, it means something totally different. Here, it's a formal offer, like a bid or a proposal to do a job or provide something for a certain price. So you might hear, the construction company submitted a tender for the new bridge. All right, our next word is defer. To defer something simply means to delay it or postpone it to a later time. A much more casual way to say this is the phrasal verb put off. So you can defer a meeting, you can defer a payment. A good example would be, they decided to defer the meeting until next week. And the last word for this first group is tense. Tense is an adjective, and it can describe 2 things. First, a feeling, like when you're worried or nervous. You could say, he felt tense before his big presentation. Or it can describe a physical thing, like a muscle that's really tight and not relaxed. The noun for this feeling is tension. And what's the opposite? To be relaxed, of course. Okay, great job on that first set. We're moving on to our second group now, which is all about understanding and uncertainty. So these words are perfect for talking about when you get an idea and when you're not so sure about things. First in this group is comprehend. It's a verb that means to really, fully understand something. It's a bit deeper than just hearing an idea. It's about grasping it. The noun form is comprehension, like in reading comprehension. For example, it took a moment to comprehend the complex instructions. You really had to think about it. Next up, tentative. When a plan is tentative, it means it's not certain or fixed yet. It's provisional. Think of it like a placeholder. You could say, we have a tentative plan for Saturday, but it might change. It carries that feeling of being a little hesitant or unsure. Now for the word underlying. This is a really useful adjective. The underlying cause of something is the real, fundamental reason, but it's usually hidden or not obvious at first. It's the basic, essential thing you have to look for. For example, the underlying cause of the problem was a lack of communication. That was the real root of the issue. All right, let's do a simple one. Tent. I'm sure you know this one. It's that portable shelter made of cloth you use when you go camping. It's in the same family as words like canopy. A really common thing you do with a tent is you put it up or pitch it. So we put up the tent before it started to rain. Okay, let's talk about an attendant. An attendant is a person whose job is to help or provide a service to people in a specific place. The classic example is a flight attendant on a plane. They are part of the flight crew. Or maybe a parking lot attendant. See, they're there to help. And just like that, we're halfway through. You're doing great. Our third group of words is all about actions and encounters. So this is where we'll talk about things like taking control, believing things, and social events. Let's kick this section off with a phrasal verb, take over. When you take over something, you take control of it. For example, in business, a larger company might plan to take over its main competitor. And when that happens, you can use the noun form and call the whole event a takeover. Okay, the verb stand is super interesting because its meaning can totally change depending on the little word that comes after it. For example, to stand for something means you represent it, like the logo has to stand for our company's values. But if you stand by someone, that means you support them. And if you stand against something, well, that means you oppose it. See how different they are? Next up is delude. This is a powerful verb. To delude someone means to trick them into believing something that is absolutely not true. It's a form of deception. A false belief like this is called a delusion, and a person who has these beliefs can be described with the adjective delusional. So you might hear the advice, don't delude yourself into thinking it will be easy.
All right, how about gathering? A gathering is just a meeting of people, usually for a friendly or social reason. It's pretty general. You invite guests to a gathering. It could be a big party or just a small gathering for a birthday. It's a really flexible word for when people get together.
The word medicine can be a little tricky because it has two main meanings. On one hand, medicine can be the whole science of treating illness, like a doctor studies medicine. But on the other hand, it can also be the actual stuff you take to get better. To be really clear, we often call that specific substance medication. That's the stuff you get with a prescription as part of a cure or treatment. We're on the home stretch now. This is our last group of 5 words, and these are all about different concepts and feelings. Let's finish this up strong. First in our final set is remedy. A remedy is basically a solution or a simple cure for a small problem or a minor illness. Think of it as a treatment or simple care. It's not usually for something super serious. A perfect example is a hot cup of tea is a good remedy for a sore throat. Simple, right? Okay, the word term. Now, a term is just a word or phrase that's used to describe a specific thing or concept. But the real magic here is the phrasal use, in terms of. You'll hear this all the time. It's how we focus on one particular part of a topic. For example, in terms of cost, this option is the best. It's like saying when it comes to the cost, or regarding the cost. Next, we have entire. This is a simple but really useful adjective. It just means whole or complete, with absolutely no part left out. So if you ate the entire pizza, you ate all of it. The adverb is entirely, which means completely. For example, he read the entire book in one day. Every single page. Let's talk about an emotion, envy. Envy is that feeling you get when you want something that somebody else has. It's really close in meaning to jealousy. The adjective is envious. So you might say, she felt a pang of envy when she saw her friend's new car. That little feeling of, I wish I had that. And here we are, our final word, favor. Usually you'll see this as part of the phrase, in favor of something. If you're in favor of an idea, it means you approve of it, you support it, you're pro that idea. So someone might ask, are you in favor of the new proposal? They're just asking if you support it. And with that, we've covered 20 new words. So, the big question is, which one are you going to try to use first? Awesome job today, and thanks for joining me.